It's so important to get these thoughts out of my head that I'm in my pajama. Hi, I'm Roxanne Miller and welcome back to my channel. I've been thinking a lot about this subject because I've been dealing with it for the past 14 years in my job as an online adult entertainer. And I will go to the extreme of calling it married incels. I'm getting goosebumps. It's really painful. We all know how extreme the incels are. With the married incels, it's not to that extreme, but it's that painful. I grew up to be the sort of feminist that actually despise men, because this is what I've seen in the women in my family. They told me you have to clean, you have to stay skinny, you have to do this and that and that, and all of these lists of things that I didn't relate to were making me feel like if I have to do all of this to have a man, I don't want it, right? And I do understand that there is life and it's hard and it's sometimes it's so difficult to deal with all the things that you have to do in a day, that when you come home and you see your partner with feet up relaxing while there is still a load of dishes to be done and a load of laundry to be done, and the house it looks like a bomb exploded and he does nothing. I do understand it, but there is one important thing. There is communication, but we will get to that. What I am going to start to speak about is something that I call false advertisement. We do not like when we buy something, and by the way, there is a lot of noise out there, but I cannot close the window because it's really hot even though it's 8 a.m. This false advertisement, right? We do not like to be stiffed. We do not like to buy into something that's not working, that's not what we bought, right? We give it back, we about it, we complain a lot, and we do not like to be lied to. So why do we do that to our partners? And it's valid in the both senses, because there are people who do these kind of things and they change behavior up until they settle. And when I mean settle, I mean sign the marriage contract. And then it's like, I don't have to do that anymore. I don't have to put in the effort. He's not gonna divorce. I'm not gonna divorce. So many women put out up until marriage, and after that, they don't feel like they have to make the effort. So many men are so gallant and romantic and a gentleman up until they get married, and then no effort at all. Why? Why do we think that having signed and agreed in front of other people that we get married changes our way of thinking? Why? It's still a relationship that we have to work on. Why are we working on our relationships with our friends to keep them alive, but not with our partner? When you sign a marriage, when you go in a church and say I do, you form a partnership. It's even more than a business partner. It's your life partner. And I do understand that in our days, divorce it's easier, but when we get in a marriage, we do not want to divorce right away, right? Even for the people who divorced right away, that's not their initial thought. So I'm begging of you, please think about these things. Please work on your relationships. The next thing, and men do it too, but women are more prevalent in this subject, and it's been also a trend. Like, I do understand that we as humans have different kinds of communication. Males communicate in a way, females communicate in a way. That's why that book with Women Are From Venus, Men Are From Mars has been so popular, because we actually communicate differently. But what I've seen as a trend is a male repellent trend. And if you are married and you are applying these strategies, you better have to think why. If you stop showering every single night when you go to bed, if you smell like the food you've been cooking all day, unless he's a food fetishist, if you stop taking care of yourself, and then the no, and then doing all the things that annoys him on purpose, it's valid for the other way too, for women repellents. You know, I was told before I became a mom that women get aroused when they see males taking care and playing with kids. And I was like, BS. It's true. Now, if we get to put a little bit of thought in how we behave, we would be so much happier. And I'm really passionate about it, because I've seen so many people being hurt over time. The people that I get to see online are lonely. And I get it. I really get it, and it's breaking my heart. And it takes two to tango. And being lonely while married or in a relationship, I've seen people who have girlfriends who are lonely. Can I say break up? No, I cannot. I mean, for instance, for the putting out, there is this thing, you can communicate. I mean, if your libido is not as high, and is valid for women as much as is valid for men, if your libido is not that high, if there are things that are in your past that are related to the intimate life, and you cannot work and deal with that because you don't have the skills, you don't have the tools, you can actually seek for help. But you can actually try and be honest with the person you are going to be with. Are you afraid of losing the person? Well, it's okay to lie about it and compromise about it before marriage and then not care about it. You're going to end up having a miserable life. So why not, if that's not your person, why not suffer earlier to be able to enjoy your life with somebody who actually understands you and who loves you and who deals with you as you are? Why lie? Why? Baffles me. Not to mention that the way we communicate, we do not learn to, we are not educated to conversate assertive. in an assertive way. We are not. All we see is judgment. All we see is you never do that, you never done that, you never, 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 never. And we also do not acknowledge the good parts in people. It's so easy to break down the other person. It's so easy. One guy that I've known for plenty of years now told me a few weeks ago, and it broke my heart. It made me want to cry so hard. He approached his wife and she said, okay, but I will have to sacrifice some of the things that I love, like watching podcasts on YouTube. Are you kidding me? I do understand there is trauma. I do understand that there has been abuse or I do understand that plenty of women had been through issues, but please, for the love of God, try to fix them. Unless you start loving yourself, you're going to be sick, you're going to be lonely, and you are going to create a lot of chaos and misery around you. Just because you're fine, because you stopped putting out, it doesn't mean that everybody around you is fine. When my shrink asked me who is the most important person in my life, I was so surprised to find out that it's me. And then she told me, if you're not okay, the people around you will not be okay. And it's true. And please start being okay. Oh my God, I got so light up on this. Like, it's such a deep conversation here. And I know I cannot solve your issues, but please try and seek help. It's no shame in that. Because again, this is a taboo subject. We are not educated about that. We do not talk about sex and we do not talk about money. And that's why we basically fuck up our lives. Go in the mirror. Look at yourself. Look at the things you love about yourself and acknowledge the things that you don't like about yourself. Don't hide it. It's going to be there and create resentment in your head and in your soul. This is what you do about your partner too. You do not tell them, you know, when you do this thing, when you do this action, it's the action that bothers me, not you. And you eventually start to resent your partner. Your action makes me feel this way. The way you said that made me feel this way. Maybe they are not even aware of the way they say the things because they have never been told. We cannot guess minds. We cannot. We are thinking in different ways. And the way you perhaps behave in a situation is translated in a different way because we do not communicate and we try to understand signals that we perhaps don't translate properly. So go in the mirror, look at yourself, acknowledge yourself, start loving yourself, and be intimate with yourself. Try and figure out your turn-offs and your turn-ons. You might be 60 and not know. Why? Might it be education? Might it be the way other women or other men around you spoke about sex? One of my friends, who's a porn star as well, said that all she knew about sex from her mother was, and that was as an adult, was that she used to put out only to calm her father because he would become violent if not. No pleasure, no love, no nothing. Just a lot of resentment and let's tame the beast. Is it because of religious reasons? I have met people who had a ton of kids that they practically don't afford to raise because there are too many, and let's face it, it's really really expensive, and also didn't afford to get them checked, and some of them have real issues. And I wonder when religion versus the life we're living stops. Like, I mean, I do understand faith, but I also understand logic. And I don't want to step on anybody's toes right now with the religion, because we are talking about being there with your partner. And you said in your vows that you'll be there. Why aren't you? It's a long way to get back from resenting your partner to fixing it. And I understand there is postpartum depression, there is a job, there is cooking, there is cleaning the house, there is doing laundry and dishes, and there is all these chores that accumulate in a full-time job, and then when you get to bed you're too tired and you don't want to do it. But you know what, you can actually say it and say, hey, I'm overwhelmed. Why don't you take a part of the chores? Why we don't split these things even? I will teach you how to do it, and then we will have time to be intimate. Then I will not be exhausted. Then I can be there for you both emotionally and physically. Are there things that don't attract you anymore in your partner? If you communicate them, please be kind. To tell your partner, I don't find you attractive because you gained weight? Where have you been when that weight gain was starting? Perhaps not there. Physically, yeah, mentally and spiritually not. Because your partner started overeating because he or she was feeling lonely, and food was a comfort. Alcohol was a comfort. Pills were a comfort. So, yeah, the conclusion is that it takes two to tango. Please start and learn communication skills. Please start to learn to become intimate with yourself first, and then with your partner. Try to rediscover yourselves. I mean, I've seen so many lonely people, lonely married people in my career, but I've seen only one couple who's been so happy to share their love. I'm grateful you've been here through this very passionate episode. I am aware that some of the things that I've said are very, very direct, but sometimes I am thinking that tough love is better than no love. And this is a bit of tough love from me. If you haven't, please subscribe, like this video. It's going to help the channel a lot, and it's going to help me. You can check out my website and you can check out my content if you want, but please start loving yourself. And I do like this idea that intimacy can be talked about as into me I see, and it's a rough process. To see in yourself is really, really hard, and it's a long process, and it's a draining process, and I do understand it. I've been through it, I'm still through it, I'm still working through it. That's why I am now able to share my thoughts, because I feel like there are people who might need to hear all these things, and if I'm feeling them and I'm thinking them, I am sure I'm not the only one. Until next time, please know that you are loved and you are important and you matter. Kiss you.